Welcome back to another podcast. Today we will talk about something very basic, how to eat food. So obviously how we consume it is equally important. There are so many ways to eat, namely with a spoon, fork, knife or chopstick. But the most common and natural one is by hand. In the Eastern world, eating food with hands has been a common practice for thousands of years. Per their belief, it is a very spiritual process that connects the mind, body, and the soul as one. From an evolutionary standpoint, the fingers are a naturally evolved, very refined set of tools. Though unfortunately, it is believed that hands are also full of germs and bacteria, so it is unhygienic to touch the food with our hands. We are here to debunk this myth and discuss why and how eating by hand is the best, most healthy and tasty way to enjoy our food and stay healthy. Our fingertips have millions of very sensitive and sophisticated sensory nerve endings and receptors. The receptors, like Merkel discs, are responsible for the sensations of the temperature, texture, and feel of the food, thus helping us pre-screen the food before consumption. Also, as soon as we touch the food, these sensory nerves communicate to the brain to get ready to receive the food, thus producing saliva in the mouth and digestive juices in the stomach. So basically, the feel of the food pre-starts the digestive process. According to the ancient scriptures, our body is made up of Pancha Tatva, Kshiti, Jal, Pavak, Gagan, Samir, namely earth, water, fire, space, and air. Each finger on our hands represent a particular element. Thumb represents fire, index finger represents air, middle finger represents space, ring finger represents earth, and pinky finger represents water. When we hold the food between our fingers, all of these 5 elements are activated, thereby adding the energy of each element to our food. As the property of each element gets transferred into our food, it also helps the body to better assimilate nutrients for energy and well-being. In today's world, it is a very common belief that all bacteria are harmful and dangerous. On the contrary, there are many friendly and good bacteria in our body that help us keep healthy and strong. A study was done by the World Health Organization proving that human body has millions of friendly and healthy bacterial flora residing in our hands, mouth, throat, intestine, and gut. These healthy bacteria on our fingertips are swallowed along with the food, thus promoting healthy digestion in our gut. For all of us, eating is a very sensory experience, involving all of our 5 senses, namely sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste. It is also said that the first act of eating is how the food smells, then how it looks and feels. The last thing in eating is the taste. So we engage all of our senses even before trying the first morsel. Since so much of taste and enjoyment of food is about its texture and touch, the hands function as a perfect tool for exploring the feel and consistency of our food. Next time you are eating, try this fun experiment with the food. It's called the nose. The first one is N-O-S-E as the one on our face, and the second one is K-N-O-W-S as in having the information. Take a piece of food and eat it as you normally would. Next, gently pinch your nose shut and then try the same food again. Interestingly, you will find that the taste of the food completely changes. Try it with different kinds of sweet, savory, sour foods and have fun. Next, let's talk about portion sizes. Our hand is the best measuring tool which is fully customized for each one of us. Unlike a standard spoon where one size fits all, everyone's hands and fingers are in proportion to their gender, age, height, weight, and body type. A child's finger will only hold enough food which is equally proportionate to the size of its mouth and body. We can use our hands as a measuring tool to decide the correct portion size for ourselves. Here is a general rule for an adult. The palm of our hand is roughly 1/3 of a cup. We can use this to estimate our protein intake like lentils, beans, chicken, etc. A cupped hand is equivalent to a half cup serving. This is used to measure our carbohydrate intake like pasta, potato, and nuts. Fist is roughly equal to 1 cup. It is good for measuring our portion size for fruits, vegetables, or salad. The top part of our thumb is equal to 1 tablespoon. We can use this to measure our fat intake like cheese, salad dressings, or cream. The nail of our thumb is about 1 teaspoon. This is used to measure oils and butter. Now, isn't this a weird notion? How does eating by hand help reduce weight? Let's see how. Hypothalamus is that part of our brain that controls when and how much we eat, and leptin is the hormone that sends this signal to a hypothalamus. Leptin tells our brain when we have had enough and need to stop eating. When we eat with our hand, the bites are smaller and the speed of food intake is slower, thus giving ample time for the hormone leptin to work properly. A study published in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology showed that families who ate by hand were more mindful and conscious of what and how much they ate. It was also concluded in the research that when 8 to 12-year-old overweight children were trained to eat by hand, there was a drastic reduction in their binge eating episodes, as they were more responsive towards the feeling of satiety. Eating slowly has another huge benefit. According to a research in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people with type 2 diabetes were more likely to be fast eaters. Eating too fast is linked to blood sugar imbalances in the body, which is one of the major contributing factors in the development of type 2 diabetes. Eating with hand is a more conscious process which slows down the speed, thus resulting in better management of type 2 diabetes. Nature has already provided us with the most efficient and organic silverware. Ever wonder how people who eat by hand never have to rely on someone else's standard of hygiene for clean cutlery? Just wash your hands properly before eating and you're good to go. Best of all, everything tastes better when we use our hands to eat. Next time, use your hands to eat that slice of pizza and be the judge. You can learn about such other interesting science-based concepts at science-krith.com. Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care.